Friends, today's quest is the sweet roll recipe from the official Elder Scrolls Cookbook. Now, for those of you that have played the game before, you're probably already familiar with what this item is, and you've even pinched it once or twice for yourself. For those who don't know, the games describe it as a pastry with a light brown sweetbread bottom with icing on top. Now let's get cooking. I'm going to be following this recipe pretty closely, although I've made a couple of tweaks, mainly to enhance the flavor of the sweetbreads. Either way, our first step is to actually activate our dry yeast. So I'm just going to get the milk off of the burner over here. Now, this step is actually glossed over in the recipe, but that's okay. We're going to do it anyways. And you want to actually take a moment to get your yeast to wake up. So the recipe actually says to combine everything together, but we are not going to do that. And the reason we want to do this is because if we put everything in together, and especially if we put everything in together with salt, it is going to kill the yeast and we won't get the nice rise on our bread. So after about 10 minutes, you should see some bubbles in your yeast. If you don't see any bubbles, your yeast is dead. And that means that you're not going to get a rise, and you should probably just start over and get some new yeast. But we have bubbles, so I'm going to move on to the next step, which is adding our melted butter. There we go. Our vanilla. So this is the first ingredient that I'm adding that is not in the recipe, so I'm adding a teaspoon of vanilla. Honestly, I kind of found the recipe in the book, like, the cake was really nice, but there wasn't a lot of flavor, which is why I'm adding vanilla. I think it just really needs it. And last but not least, the honey. So let's get that, oh dear. Get that in here. And then I'm gonna give it a little swirl in here first, and then I'm gonna move it over to our mixing. I'll get the rest of this honey off. I'm going to give a little combine here, kind of help it get started. Now, let's go ahead and pour this in here. Our mixing bowl. What we're looking to do is make sure that the honey is completely dissolved before we move on to the next step. So let's give it a go. Okay, that looks a lot better. The honey has been incorporated, so let's drop this back down and add our next ingredient, which is the egg and the salt. All right, so that is all combined. So now we just have to do our last ingredients, which is flour, and the second additional ingredient from me, the cardamom. The nice thing about the recipe in the book is that because it is so, lower this, maybe that'll be easier. Because it is so basic, it's honestly like you can add whatever you want as additional flavors, maybe ginger, orange, almond, whatever. I've decided to go for vanilla and cardamom because I really like those flavors. Okay, so that is good. I'm happy with that consistency. Now, another way I've sort of deviated from this recipe is it actually has you spooning the mix into the bundt pan. And when I tried that, it was very disastrous. I'm in a mess everywhere, and my bundt cakes were really uneven. So I will not be doing that this time. I'm going to essentially pipe them in there. So I'm gonna use a gallon Ziploc bag to go ahead and pipe that in. Trust me on this, you are not going to want, I mean, look at how thick this is. It was so hard to get in there. I mean, just, it sticks, see? And it's going to be challenging just to get it into the plastic bag, but I think we will. This is in my way. I think that we will manage. So go in here. Okay, so now we have a nice little bunt pan. Looks very cute. And I didn't really make that much of a mess, which I absolutely would have if I had spooned it. And I know that because that's exactly what happened when I made this recipe the first time. So now all we need to do is cover this and let them rise. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna let them rise for 30 minutes. That should be enough. Really struggle with plastic wrap. Okay. There we are. Perfect. Okay, so we have waited the allotted time and our bread has risen a little bit. It'll obviously rise some more in the oven. I also use this opportunity to clean because, you know, a clean kitchen is a happy kitchen. So we're just gonna go ahead and pop these right into the oven. Our cakes are looking really good, so it is time to get them out of the oven. Apologies, my oven is a little bit loud. That's okay. Our sweet rolls have cooled off, and so now we just need to make the icing. It is a cream cheese icing, so in goes the powdered sugar. So I love cream cheese icing, and I like mine to be kind of extra tangy, so I've increased how much cream cheese is going in there. A little bit more than what the recipe calls for. So in goes powdered sugar, cream cheese, butter, there's some soft butter, and some heavy cream. I've left the sugar out a little bit just in case we need to balance out the cream cheese. So let's go ahead and mix this up. Alrighty, so that looks good now. Set that aside. Piping bag again. Again, this has just a spoon on there. I find that just really hard to do, so we are not going to do that. We're just gonna keep nice consistency. Get that right into our bag. Go. Let's scooch that on down and pipe these bad boys. Now it's on to the taste test. The moment we have all been waiting for. I am going to take this one. It looks yummy. Alrighty. Cut into this bad boy. So good. So tasty. The vanilla and the cardamom really do help give the sweetbread just a little extra flavor, you know, so it's not just boring bread. And then of course the cream cheese icing is just really tasty. And the texture is really nice too. It's really good. Definitely give it a try. I can't recommend this recipe more. And what's great is you can add whatever you want. So if maybe ginger's your thing or chai or whatever, throw it in there. And you know, if you do, let me know how it tastes in the comments. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to see more. Until next time.